non share quality business tips and entrepreneurial principles that will shift our businesses and our entrepreneurial journeys to the next level. We've done 2 weeks. This is the third week, and so far it's been amazing. We've done two start classes like this with our virtual friends joining us online. We've done it purely like two also Thursdays, pure online streams where we talked about similar things, and we are going to be continuing from where we stopped. But before we progress, before we delve into what we have for today, I want us to just do a quick recap of what we did last week. Last week we talked about the Eisenhower matrix, how making quality decisions and positively impact our businesses. And it will make sense to just delve into a new topic that was refreshing our minds as to what we did last week. So I just want someone to just, in a nutshell, what it was from last week's class. My class and also what our boss talked about, the principal of this academy, the president of leaders and Maria talked to us about value, marketing, and the other parts of businesses that are very, very important. But we delved in our own session on decision-making processes in business. And we talked about this in one more show. And anyone just, in some way, tell us what they learned from last week's teaching, either generally or just the section, maybe my section or boss's section. So, anyone, before we delve into what we are doing today. Meanwhile, before we progress, we are going to be taking cognizance of those who are joining us online, because the people online are even more than people that are live actually. So people that are here are more than people are less than people that are joining us online, and we are really going to put them into consideration as regards how the class is proceeding, so that they can follow up with us properly. But before we continue, I want us to just introduce ourselves. We are seeing some very, very wonderful but new faces in our midst. So starting from you, ma. Okay, you say what? Just okay. Please just take care. All right. Your name is just because for the sake of the online.
Okay, good morning. My name is Ose Abumere.
Okay, welcome. What do you do? Like, what's your line of business?
I'm into logistics and I'm a makeup artist.
Okay, she's a makeup artist and she's also into logistics. That's awesome. So, mommy, it's a very beautiful mommy we have here. So, mommy, we want to know you and what to do, man.
My name is Betty Jokwarogene.
Okay, man.
I'm into stockbroking and networking,
All right. Stockbroking and networking.
buying and selling.
Wow, thank you very much. To the next person. Welcome, sir. We're happy to have you. So, what's
Good,
your name?
good morning,
Good
everybody.
morning, sir.
I'm Roya Ajayi Jr. I am into branding and custom designing,
All right.
so that's why. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. We are very happy to have you now, Mr. We are very happy to have you here. So, without wasting much time, we were talking about a quick recap on what we did last week. Last week, we were talking about decision-making processes. That, funny enough, most of the times, most people really pay less attention to the decisions that drive their business. We are most of the times concerned about capital, about sales per se, and about a whole lot of things. While most times, most people downsize or downplay on the need for strategy and the need for proper decision making, because one wrong decision you can make in your business can affect it negatively in a very drastic and terrible way. So we're looking at how to effectively make decisions as business people in such a way that in the long run and even in the short term, our business will make maximum progress. So we're able to divide decision making into 4 quadrants. The first quadrant, we're able to look at things that are urgent and not important. We're looking at decision on things that are important but not urgent. We're looking at decision on things that are both urgent and important. I also looked at the fourth quadrant, decision on things that are not urgent and not important. So your ability to separate the various parts of your business making processes into these 4 quadrants will determine how much progress you make in the long run. Because in a business, there are some things that are very urgent but not necessarily important. Those are things that sometimes you can just delegate to someone else to help you do them. There are some things that are very, very urgent and very, very important. One of the things we mentioned last week was for things that are very urgent and very important in a business are things that involve sales. You have a customer, you make a revenue of 20 million naira, for example, every month, and inside the 20 million naira, you have one client or two clients that give you more than 60% of that revenue. Maybe you have a client that at the end of the month, consistently, the person buys nothing less than 10 million naira products from you, or generates 10 million naira revenue for you every month. And that client is having issues. Maybe your staff or your receptionist talked to the person in a way that you didn't like, and the person was like, or maybe there was a way the service was rendered to the person, and the person felt like, I'm not doing business with you guys anymore. That kind of a situation is an emergency situation, because losing that client will mean losing more than 50% or even 50% of your monthly revenue. So you cannot joke with that. That's an urgent and important thing. So you have to attend to it as quick as possible, as very, very quick as possible. So those are things that are very, very urgent and important. Then we have to talk about things that are urgent but not important. They're actually short-term things that may not necessarily affect your business in the long run, but they are still very, very urgent. So things like staffing, things like interview of employees, those things may not be very, very important. They may not be urgent, but they are important. That is things that are not urgent but important. We talked about a whole lot of things, and it was very, very amazing. I'm quite pained that some people that came here last week, they are not around today, but it's still fine. Maybe they are joining us online. I really don't know. We have Nafisat and Mr. Israel. It's not around. So we are going to be looking at a very, very important part of business and entrepreneurship, which is performance appraisal and staff development. Performance appraisal and staff development. This is also a very, very important part of every business. A very, very important part of every business. I understand now that many of us here, we are still a sole proprietorship. We are still a one-man business, such that without you, your business cannot run. A sole proprietorship is a sole proprietorship business is the kind of business that if the owner of the business is not on ground, a lot of things will not work. But the aim of true entrepreneurship is your ability to maximize the factors of production in such a way that you can create a system that can work outside your own personal contribution. So where a business, you can call yourself an entrepreneur if you have been able to create a system in your business where without you being around, your business can still run perfectly. That is actually how business is supposed to be. That is the grand scale of business, where the owner of the business does not need to impute into the business, does not need to be there in the business for the business to run. For example, now we are talking about Amazon. Jeff Bezos just resigned as the CEO of Amazon and handed it over to someone else. He's still the founder of Amazon, but currently he doesn't need to be in Amazon for Amazon to still be running. That's what true entrepreneurship is about. But many of us, we are still in a situation where if I'm not in the business, if I don't post, if I don't come to the office, my business cannot run. It's not bad to be in that position. It's also a phase, because there will still a time in Amazon where if Jeff was not around, if Jeff Bezos was not around, things will not work well. People like Elon Musk and those Fortune 500 companies you see around in the world, they have come to a point where even if the CEO or the founder is not there, they can still run perfectly without them being around. That's the aim, that's the hallmark of success in business. So for now, we are still at that phase where we are still trying to build our brand. So you cannot say you want to leave your business when you are just starting out. No. So that's why we are learning these things. So most of the things we are learning now, we are not necessarily there yet, but one of the greatest mindsets someone that wants to succeed in entrepreneurship should have is the mindset of embodying your future truth. So you are not there yet, but you are seeing yourself there already, and you are living as if you are already there. That's what makes you different from the average business person. So I'm not, for example, now I'm into real estate. I don't have 1,000 real estates, 1,000 estates or 1,000 plots at my disposal, for example. But I'm already seeing myself like that, and I begin to act as if I already have it. That's what will make you make progress quicker. So you are not acting as if you don't have. You are acting even if you don't have, as if you already have. So that as you are making plans on a bigger scale. You are seeing bigger. You are seeing far. You are a visionary. That's what makes you different. So we are going to be looking at performance appraisal and staff development. So can someone just, the word appraisal, it's an English word. Can someone just define what appraisal means? Just explain or describe it briefly. Miss Joseph, please. What's the meaning of, when we say I'm giving an appraisal, what do we mean? All right. Ma, do you have an idea? Okay. Okay.
At the end of the, I don't know how words to use.
All right. To rate. That is a very good synonym for appraisal. To rate. Can any other person give us, sir? Judgment or opinion about something. It's also a kind of appraisal. Mama. Okay, sir. Okay, yeah. Okay. To review. So we talked about to rate, talked about to review. To review, so when we talk about performance appraisal, it means evaluation, assessment, reviewing the performance over a period of time for the purpose of getting better results. So for a period of, let me say, for in business, there's something they do. They divide the year into quarters. They do Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. Because in the year we have 4 quarters in the year, three months for each quarter. So most of the time you see big businesses, they do performance assessment, performance appraisal for Q1. So how did we fare from January to March? What did we do right? What did we do wrong? What are the things we should improve on? What are the things we should increase? That's what we call an appraisal. So like what he said, do a review, a breakdown of your various processes and how they affected your business, the effect they had in your business. See, these things are things that we cannot take away. We cannot overemphasize the need for performance appraisal because it shows you your weak point, it shows you your strengths. It shows you the things you should improve on. It shows you the things you should reduce if there's a need for it, and so on and so forth. So appraisal is the process of reviewing, examining, or evaluating actions and results gotten from such actions over a period of time. So that's what appraisal is. So when we say performance appraisal, it means the review, the evaluation, or the examining of the performance of staff and every person within a business over a period of time to track the effect of those performances and to get better results. That's what performance appraisal is about. So it is something that is non-negotiable. It's something that every business that must strive, every business that is targeting the long haul, that is targeting long-term development, long-term scaling, must not take out from their operations or from their system. It is very, very important. It is very, very important. That's why we even see now that we hear things like data analysis. You see some companies, they employ data analysts to check their various systems and to be able to get quality assessment for performance. So I don't know, many of us, we have seen data analysts before. They use Excel sheets, they use Tableau, they use SQL to do those things. So they'll be able to track where are we wasting money. And we even hear in some companies too, they also call auditors to check, to audit their finances, to audit things that are not working well. So we are spending so amount of money, are making so amount of money, but we feel like the amount of money we are making, even as much as we are still making some little bit of profit, it's not commensurate to the effort we are putting in. So where are we not doing things right? So that's where performance appraisal comes in. Even as a single sole proprietor business, it's very, very important that you cannot take it out of your business. It is very, very essential. It is very, very essential. Because the truth is, a great philosopher said, he said, the unexamined life is not worth living. A life that is not examined, you don't sit down sometimes to evaluate yourself. It is not worth living. And at the end of the day, it will yield little or no results. So, and we are looking at also staff development. We said that the 4 factors of production are what? Can someone remind me, please? The factors of production. Basic business studies. We have land, capital, in no particular order actually. Entrepreneurship is actually the last. Land, capital, labor, and entrepreneurship. Those 4 parts of a venture are things that you cannot take out. For example, now the reason why this office here is the office of Pinnacle Brainiacs Homes and Properties, which is also currently the office of Pinnacle Brainiacs Academy. And it is situated on land. Without land, you cannot do much. You cannot do anything. So that's why the need for land is something you cannot take away from it. You build structures on land, you build offices on land, you build houses on land. Land is very, very essential. So land is one of the major factors when it comes to business. Then we have labor. So we are looking at labor currently. So that's what we are focusing on. When we talk about staff, we are talking about labor. The human factor apart from the entrepreneur, in bringing together the resources, in maximizing the resources available in the business in such a way that it can run continually with much more results being generated. So we are looking at staff development. So we are going to be looking at our objective. What do we aim to take home after we are done with this class. Number one, understand recruitment procedures used by businesses. So how do businesses recruit staff? How do they recruit staff? In the university, there is a course called Human Resource Management. They are primarily HRO. Human Resource Management, they are primarily involved in recruitment. Big companies have HRO, one or two HROs, even small companies actually, or medium scale companies. They have HRO, people that are able to curate the employees that are coming to join the company and check if they are eligible and they can carry the vision of the brand. They are called human resource. So to understand recruitment procedures used by businesses. Number two, to identify and explain the stages involved in selecting and interviewing job candidates. So to identify and explain the stages involved in selecting and interviewing job candidates. The reason why we are going down this route is because for now you may not have the resources financially to employ a human resource manager. At least as a CEO, one of the qualities of a CEO is that at best, every part of your business, one way or the other, you have some idea of how to do them. You may not be the master in all of them, but you have an idea. When it comes to sales, you are a good salesman. A business person, an entrepreneur cannot not be a good salesman. It's not possible. Because you have to be the first, you are the first brand ambassador of your business. You are the first salesman of your business. You are the one that understands your vision. You are the one that is producing the service. Every person you employ in your business, you are just selling your vision to them. So you are the one that should be able to explain your vision more to any other person. You are the one that is supposed to sell your vision more to any other person. So you cannot say you are a CEO, you are the owner of a business, and you are not good in sales. It's not possible. So if you are employing salesperson, you as the CEO should be the number one salesman of your company. I should be able to give them targets that are in line with the vision of your business. I believe every one of us here that are into business, we are not just doing it. One of the things that I was reading during the weekend, we were saying that one major issue with businesses in Nigeria as at 2025 is that an average business in Nigeria is running just for survival. The average Nigerian business is running just for survival. So why are you doing business? I want to eat. I want to wear clothes. If you are still doing business with that mindset, you will not make much progress. A lot of people that are big CEOs, they actually moved from a place of trying to survive to a place of building legacy. To a place of, if you ask someone like Dangote now, he will not tell you that at least that one even came from a wealthy home. So he was not looking for food to eat or what to wear. Where do I sleep today? So that's why I'm just running to do this hustle. So if you are still working with the hustle mentality, you will not make much progress. At best, you'll be able to get some things to just go by. But to make legacy and to create a brand that stand out, and those are the people we want in this academy. We don't just want people that just wants to find out Gen 2K. That's why that word, I hate using that word for my business. I'm stepping out to look for my urgent 2K. You are bigger than that. Your mindset should shift beyond looking for urgent 2K. You are building something that is worthwhile. You are building something that is a legacy that future generations to come will be able to bank on that. This thing is a foundation with which you can build on. So if you are still doing business on that hustle mindset, trying to get by to make ends meet, it's not bad. At least that's a phase, but you should begin to think beyond that. You should begin to think beyond that. And the truth is, every big business you see today, Matt Eyes, Kilimanjaro, Stop to Shop, ShopRite, those big companies, Cadbury, Nigerian PLC, Pepsi, and Coca-Cola, all those big companies, they actually started small. They actually started with ideas. They did not become big overnight. They started with ideas. So the same way Ose's business now is an idea in her head. She actually has an idea. That business can become a global brand. It's very possible. So there's no big business that started as a big business. All of them started from one point to the next point to the next point, and they got to this point. But along the line, they got to a point where they left the survivor mentality. Where they left, I just want to do this business just to look for what to eat, to a point where they began to think of transgenerational impact. That's where our business should be. So that's the minds we are building. So he said, to identify and explain the stages involved in selecting and interviewing job candidates. Number 3, to recognize the importance of continuous staff training for productivity and growth. Recognize the importance of continuous staff training for productivity and growth. I was seeing recently that Coca-Cola now they are planning on doing another staff orientation. Every year, I think they have, sometimes they do it twice in a year, where they call all their staff together, maybe region by region, and they reorient them as regards the vision of their business. Because once the staff lose sight of the vision of a business, a lot of times we begin to misrepresent the brand. So it is very important that at every point in time, the CEO, that's even one of the major works of the CEO, to build your staff to a point where even without you being around, they are able to market the brand effectively without trying to malign the image of your company. So that's one of the major works of the chief executive officer, to make at every point in time, every staff and every labor in the business to be able to effectively represent the brand in such a way that without you being around, they are still good ambassadors of your business. That's one of the things why we are looking at this topic. So these are the learning objectives. These are the things we hope to learn after today's class. So the next slide. All right, so definition of key terms. We are going to be defining some very, very important terms. So I'm going to be looking at recruitment. Meanwhile, before we continue from here, this is Pinnacle Brainiacs Academy, Citadel of Stars, and this is our first edition of this. This is our first cohort, if you have to use that word. This is our first cohort, and we have plans to take it on a very, very larger scale. But this is our first cohort, and sincerely, the first people that are, which is all of us are here, that are members or students of this academy, we are the ones that are going to be much more privileged, because as time progresses, it becomes much more competitive actually. So I want every one of us to be up and doing, especially those online. We should be I want every one of us to be up and doing, so that we should be very, very, very at the end of the day, we should benefit from every single thing that is given to those who are going to take the process to the end. Because at the end of the day, specific people, could be one, could be two, could be three. I really don't know for now. We are still looking at how responsive people are as regards what we are doing. We'll be giving some specific financial grants or financial supplementation for their business. So, and the requirement that are needed for these things is you have to attend at least for the many classes from last week to the end of this, because we are aiming at ending everything in December. We have like 7 more classes to go. So from last time, if you attend at least 10 classes out of the total we've done. Total we've done so far, we've done 4 already, we have 7 more to go. So that we have 11 classes in total. So if you can attend at least 10 or 9 of those classes consecutively, being always around, then also, if you can, I'm talking about the eligibility criteria for those who will be getting the grants or the financial support from us to push your business. So you have to attend at least 10 or 9 of those classes. Then the assignments that are given, we are not going to be taking them lightly. We dropped some of them on the group last week, and we are expecting more people to submit those assignments. Those assignments are very important, and they are basic. They are really not hard. They are quite easy. Then your business should be registered with CAC. We came up with an idea that registering your business with CAC, if you are doing, it's not advisable for you to register a business name now because of the current tax reform that is in Nigeria. Registering your business name makes you and your business the same. You are a sole proprietor, so you are still the same person that you and the business are one. So what registering as a limited liability company does for you is it separates you from your business. Your business becomes a legal entity on itself. So they tax your business, they don't tax you. And there's a specific amount of money your business makes every year before it can be taxed by the government. I think it's from 50 million and above. So if you are still planning on registering as a business name, it's cheaper though, but you are going to be incurring more cost, accruing more cost for yourself. So we are trying to help so that you can register to become a limited liability company. Although it's higher, but we created a platform or a way by which you can pay it in a way that will not stress you. So if you are interested in registering with us, you can write your name down after the class and we can help you sort it out. So it may still be the same amount of money, but we'll break it down for you 2 times or 3 times, depends. So it is very, very important. You have to register your business name, attend the classes, and there's a form, biodata form, that we need for every of our students, and it's just for a token of 1,000 naira. So, and it's very limited. So I want every one of us to, as much as possible, let's get it. It's in the office here in case you are interested, just for 1,000 naira. The account will be sent to you, and you can make progress from there. So let's go back to our class. It's a definition of key terms. So what is recruitment? So the terms are well defined for us. Recruitment is the process of attracting potential candidates to apply for job openings within an organization. So the process of attracting potential candidates to apply for job openings, qualified potential candidates actually, because we are not just looking for potential candidates, we are looking for qualified people that know their onions. So the process of attracting potential candidates, qualified potential candidates, to apply for job openings within an organization. Within an organization. The truth is, currently in Nigeria, companies still recruit, but the fact is just that the number of people that are on ground for recruitment and the number of people they want most times, the number is too much. January, I went to Abuja for the past NNPC interview. Imagine they were looking for 1,000 staff, and people that applied were more than 100 and something thousand. People that wrote the CBT, at the end of the CBT, they removed some people were disqualified. We still had up to about 40 something thousand people on ground, and what they are looking for is just 1,000 something. So they invited those 40 something thousand people to Abuja to come and interview, and at the end of the day they took only 1,000 something. So it's not as if they don't recruit. 1,000 is a big number. It's not as if they don't recruit, but currently the number of unemployed youth in the society is too much. So most of the times, even these companies are even having issues trying. We understand the fact that whether I like it or not, nepotism is there, favoritism is there, connection is there. But whether I like it or not, they are still looking for very qualified people. Very, very qualified people. For example, now things like cyber security. You cannot just give somebody you just because it's your brother. It's something you have to be very skilled in. Things like sales is something you have to be very skilled in. So most of the times, most of these companies, especially the human resource management arm, they still have issues because some people come with results that they are not even qualified for mentally. Somebody comes with a 2-1, asking basic question, does not even know. So recruitment is actually the process of attracting qualified potential candidates to apply for job openings within an organization. And like we were saying, we said entrepreneurship, one of the things entrepreneurship will do in the long run for Nigeria is that it will remove the burden of employment from the federal government and from the central government to even individuals. So imagine Ose's business is a multinational business. Mr. Destiny's business is a multinational business. My business is a multinational business. At least to some extent, it will help to reduce the level of unemployment. Currently, the private sector is one of the largest employers of labor in Nigeria currently. The private sector. Like 65% of employees currently are working in the private sector, 9 to 5 hours. So that's one of the benefits of entrepreneurship. It creates room for employment. So and in employing people, you not just pick anybody from the street and say, come and work for me. You have to be able to recruit, go through some systematic processes in selecting, attracting and selecting qualified potential candidates to apply for job openings within your organization. Then we have selection. Selection. This is the process of screening applicants and choosing the most suitable candidates for a job. Some people will be asking in their mind, why are we going through this route? Why are we learning all these things? We're supposed to be learning sales, learning marketing. The truth is, the reason why we are teaching this is because we believe in your brand. We believe that your business is going to be big. We believe it's going to be a national and even international business. And as the CEO, you have to learn these things on time. You have to really learn this thing on time. It's not everybody you can employ, actually. It's not everybody you can employ in your business. There's some people that you bring in your business, they will sabotage your business. They will spoil your business. It's not being schizophrenic or being paranoia. It's just the truth. There are a lot of people that are not employable. Maybe character-wise and in every other area, they are not employable. So you have to know how to select and screen to be able to get the best candidate for every job offer you create. Then number 3, training. Organizing activities to improve employee skills, knowledge, and performance. So you have to understand how to create curriculums, create systems that can effectively help you train every employee and equip them with the necessary skills needed to actually perform as much as they are expected to. So the next slide. All right, so we're going to be looking at steps in recruitment and selection. Steps in recruitment and selection. But the truth is, I was reading a book recently and they were saying Your business has not really grown if you have not gotten to that point where you can now begin to employ someone else. Maybe one, two, three, as the case may be. But one of the signs of scaling in business, one of the signs of growth in the business is that you are able to now have the amount of money needed to pay to be able to diversify your operations and to be able to delegate other functions to other people. There's so much you can do in your business. There are many things we are doing in our business by ourselves now that if we delegate it, it will yield much more productivity for us. For example, now some of us, we are the ones that are the social media manager of our pages. Only you are the marketing manager. Only you are the chief salesperson of the business. Only you are the receptionist. You are everything in the business. Imagine how much time you have to think and strategize for your business if you are things to other people. There's so much you can do at a time. Whether you are the king of multitasking, there's so much you can do. So at some point, as your business begins to grow, you should be able to employ people to take some responsibilities that will help you to focus on more important things. That's why recruitment is very, very important. So we are looking at the steps needed in recruiting and selecting staff for our business. Number one, identify job vacancy. So first of all, you have to determine the need for a new employee, e.g. expansion, replacement, and a new department. For example, now she's a logistics person. She has a logistics brand. Miss Ose, right? You have a logistics, and as a logistics, she will not be the one that will carry a bike and be moving up and down. She has to employ drivers. That is in itself is employment. She has to employ, let me say, a logistics manager that will be in charge of the inventory. That's employment. So as your business grows, you cannot do away with employment. You have to add people to your business. It's a sign of scale. It's a sign of increase in your business. It's a sign of expansion. So the need for recruitment involves expansion. So if there's need for expansion, new people have to be added to accommodate that expansion. Then replacement. Maybe you want to you sack someone, you fired someone resigned. You have to replace the person. The position cannot be vacant. There's need for employment. Or you are creating a new department altogether. You are creating a new department altogether for your business. For example, now Mama here, her plan is to own a big supermarket. And in the supermarket, there are different departments in the supermarket. So maybe you are running just a small package before, and your business has grown to a point that you want to add another department to it. It's human beings that will man that department. So you have to employ new people. So we have to understand these things. It's very, very important. So number one, preparation of job description and job specification. Please, let's take these things very, very important. Let's take these things very, very important. Very, very important. Because the truth is, someone asked me a question. You are doing so business, you are doing so business. If 50 million comes to you now, do you have the structure to accommodate 50 million naira? Because most of the times, the average Nigerian is a very spiritual person. We pray, Lord, expand my business. Lord, I need more money. Lord, But the truth is, the reason sometimes why those things don't come is because you have never created a structure that can accommodate that prayer, that answer if it comes. So most of the time, 50 million naira comes into your hand because there's no proper structure on ground to be able to effectively deploy the money. Within 6 months, the money is already gone. I don't know what you did with the money. So when structures are on ground, most of the times resources begin to come. Actually, the true way, the best way to actually achieve or receive resources for your business is to first of all create necessary environment that can contain that value. You see, an average Nigerian is praying for a car, he's praying for a house. But actually, the person does not even understand the purpose of having a car or having a house. And when they say when the value of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. It must be abused. So you are paying for 50 million, you want to apply for a grant. In your mind now, say, oh, if I get 50 million now, my business will explode. Do you have a structure, a system you have created now that can accommodate and effectively deploy 50 million naira? If you have 50 million naira now, what are the staff? What are the things you will do in your business? Do you have a structure on ground? That's why they tell us sometimes you go meet some big men and say, sir, I need funding for my business. The first thing they'll tell you is, what's your business plan? What's your projection for the next 5 years? They don't just invest their money anyhow because they know how money is liquid. As it comes to your hand, you are using it. If you are not channeling it to the right places, before you know, you have wasted 20 million naira. You don't know how you spent it. So it is when structures are on ground, and one of the structures is in recruitment and employment of staff. When structures, appropriate structures are on ground, it helps you to know how to effectively channel the resources that come to you to be able to get your business to grow from one level to another level. You see some businesses for 10 years, they are just at a spot. They are not making progress. They are making money or they are selling. But because they don't have accurate and appropriate structures that can help them expand, you just see a business is just at a particular level. I know a man that was selling cement for 5 years. His stock was 100 bags. He sells consistently, but he does not go beyond that. Because my dad used to sell cement. This person was my dad's friend. Consistently. People that came into the business last year, 2 years time, they're already having 2 shops, having 3 shops. But his own is just at a spot. And at a point, we now began to realize that he just liked the way it was. And he did not create room and structures for expansion. I don't believe anyone here. That's why I said that man, if you really look and query him properly, you see that he's just living from a survival mindset. True entrepreneurs go beyond survival. And one of the signs that you have moved beyond survival is that you are able to create systems. Welcome, Apostle. You are able to create systems that will open up for expansion in case it comes. So, Mama, you said you have a supermarket idea and you are planning on that. So, if you have 100 million naira now, do you know what to do with it as regards your business? It is very, very important. At least you have an idea. Miss O said, do you know what to do with your business? If you have 100 million naira now, like all your prayer points have been answered, 100 million has come to you and it's for free. You are a billionaire just met you and dashed you 100 million naira and say, what do you do? I do logistics. 100 million naira will be okay. Yes. Do you have a structure, a system that can accommodate that amount of resource without it crumbling your business? Currently, you see, it is very, very important. These things are salient things that we cannot do without. So, for example, one of the places most entrepreneurs have issues is when it comes to employment. Some people, it was when they started employing staff that their business started crumbling. When they were doing it on their own, things were going well. When they started employing people, their business started collapsing. Why? Because they did not create the right structure. They did not understand the know-how on how to identify the right candidate for the job openings they have. So, job description. What is job description? This is what the employee will do in terms of this and the responsibilities that they will have to perform in your business. So, by now, you should be able to create. That's why I said you should embody your future truth. Where do you see your business in the next 10 years? Begin to create systems that fit to that image in your head. Don't create systems of you now. It's just me and my 500,000 naira in my bank. That's the only thing I have. Is that where you want to end? No. Where is your end point? Begin to plan from that end point. So at the end of 2035, I want to have 100 staff. Create systems now that can accommodate 100 staff and make the business run properly. That's where you should begin to live from. You should begin to live from your future truth, not from your present reality. It is very, very important. They say that most entrepreneurs